Hello everyone. Oh my god. Hobbies by Internet Historian's Incognito channel. Two things I need to say before we get into this. The room is filled with bugs. So I might do some like this out of nowhere. Like the killing invisible enemies. So don't worry about that. And secondly, I have a bit of cold. I wasn't careful and I slept, and then the weather was so fucking cold afterwards that I literally got influenza. But other than that, that's it. So I might cough here and there. Forgive me. Let's go in the count of 3, 2, 1,
Brought
go.
to you by Walled-Off Tanks.
Brilliant game.
Hobbies. Hobbies. What are hobbies? Is rock climbing a hobby?
Yes. Oh. Oh no. How deep did you go? This is too much.
All this and more on
Okay.
the
Field.
field.
Lovely. Mental detecting. Oh, metal detecting. Oh my god.
So, do you have any hobbies?
I do, actually. I have many.
Really?
Yeah, swindling larger YouTube channels, that's probably the biggest one. But outside of that, I play Dungeons and Dragons every week.
Nerd.
Okay, well,
No, sorry, carry on. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on. Carry on.
you just have a big red button that you push to mute.
Yeah.
No, I really doubt it. Whoever uses push to talk is, come on now. It's 2023. Make it active and fix the sensitivity. Unless you live in like a really loud area, that I get you, man. I get you. I used to do the same.
No slurs. Tell me about your hobbies.
The older you get, the more maintenances around the house become your hobbies. I do quite a lot of gardening.
Old green thumb, eh?
I'm not amazing at keeping the plants alive or
So
fruiting.
my mom does the same
I am
shit.
good at keeping them.
Yeah. Once in a while, landscaping as well. Like I rent the diggers and then I smooth out the dirt and such. Otherwise, I watch a lot of YouTube.
So that's interesting because
That's
I
a good
don't.
hobby.
Interesting.
I don't know if that makes me a bad YouTuber or a good one.
Both. Because you need to, you still need to like hone yourself and watch other contents of the same time, at least the niche, so you can understand if there is any change. Because you might like just every YouTuber is gonna leave you behind and move forward. So you need to try to compete at some point.
Because
Oh, I've got
By
my hand in
watching
the
the
air.
content.
I have the answer to this 1 minute, Kudos.
am I a good YouTuber or not?
Bad. I want to guess bad YouTuber. Carry on, Mini Kudos.
Was it the awful videos or the lack of uploads?
I'd say both, sir.
Well, Timmy,
God damn.
maybe one day you too can put off uploading to your YouTube channel. Something I find interesting but I'd never do is those people who go like, I know what you call it, like dredging or magnet fishing, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Where you like, you see these videos on YouTube and TikTok.
What the fuck is that? A minigun? That's jackpot, man.
Which are probably like faked a lot of the time, but I'm sure they still, you find there are just so many guns.
I love that stuff. Watching people panning for gold, people like...
That's just retarded. Come on. Even if you find some gold, it's not gonna worth much in this inflation. Bro, it's, like a few dust of gold that's gonna change your life. Seriously.
looking around with metal detectors and stuff. In fact, I was so into that stuff for a while. This is before I had a YouTube
Don't know,
channel.
babe.
That I bought a metal detector.
Fucking hell! Why do people want to be prospectors? That's like the lamest. Not the lamest, it's a difficult job and it's highly rewarding. But it's just, it's old, man.
And I went to Historian. I'm like, come on, we're going to go down to a thing. We're going to go to a park or something. And we're going to find a creek. And we're just going to like metal detect around. As soon as I had the metal detector in my hand, I was so embarrassed. I just felt embarrassed. I can't explain it.
The reality set in that you'd have to be the guy going metal detecting.
Why is another woman of it? What is happening? This is so terrifying.
Yeah, and we went down to like this creek, and on the way there, you'd pass by people and you'd kind of like try to push the metal detector kind of behind their line of sight so they wouldn't see you. And then we got down there and boy, that metal detector was a real piece of shit. I didn't have much money at the time, so I just bought like the cheapest one. And so it only made a beeping noise when there wasn't anything.
It is the worst scenario. It still
reverse
works,
method
but it's
detection.
now incredibly annoying.
Loud and awful. Yeah.
I love the idea that her store is so mad she leaves you to walk home that day.
We didn't find anything except like one bottle cap,
No shit.
and then like on the way back we're like, oh, there's a beach. All right, fine, I'm gonna try the beach, and couldn't find anything.
God,
we're
don't.
making this really loud fucking noise. People are looking at us, and then I went, all right, I'm not finding anything here. Hold on, and I threw $2 into.
In any point, if your device is making too much noise, find where the speaker is. Obviously, the speaker is here. You can literally see the fucking lines of holes. Just cover that part. It becomes a bit more muffled. I really doubt that this device needs any kind of cooling unit. So even if you cover it, it's not gonna damage it that much. You're just gonna muffle the voice a bit.
Thing here. Hold on, and I threw $2 into the sand. To see if the thing would pick it up. It not only didn't pick it up, but then I lost the $2.
Come on!
In the sand. I lost money. Stupid fucking hobby. And I haven't been metal detecting ever since.
That's so fucking stupid. But like in the best way possible. I get him. When I was younger, I wanted to fuck with metal detectors. It just doesn't work like that. It tries to find every metal, and it's just garbage, most of the metals.
I would quite like to get into pigeon
Why?
racing.
Okay.
I met a guy who bred and raced pigeons,
Okay.
and it is fascinating.
Fucking chapter
They'll
buzz.
race these things over, like 400 kilometers,
Oh, wow.
and
Holy
it'll come
shit.
like down to the wire.
Yeah.
It is really cool the way they breed these particular pigeons, and like, oh, well, this one has particular stamina, but this one has a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can keep pigeons basically the same way you
Yeah.
keep chickens. But
They need to go out and fly every day and move around, and then you just yell at them and they come back. Like the pigeons need to fly.
has a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can keep pigeons basically the same way you keep chickens. But they just sit there and make this noise like,
Yeah.
That's a really good pigeon noise.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Instead of like, like
That's not a rooster.
chicken does, right? And chickens are awful and they stink.
They're the best fucking. They taste amazing. They give you fucking eggs, and their babies are so fucking cute, bro. There is nothing cuter than a chick, like little chicken. Yeah, yellow. Oh my god.
But
I love
pigeons are
those when
just
I was a
like,
kid.
hey, I'm purring like a cat,
I also don't like pigeons, but I will give you that they are quieter and less smelly than chickens.
But not
Yeah.
as delicious.
Possibly less tasty too, though. But my only issue with something like pigeon racing is because it's, I'm assuming, of somewhat of a niche sport. I would feel like I'd want like cool video game stats involved. Like if I was going to be breeding these little suckers, I'd want to have like a
No, that would be amazing.
UI where I can be like, here's this guy's speed rating out of
Star
10.
They do
Mobility
that. They
14.
do that.
What the fuck?
Cooing. Oh, that's
They have
awesome.
these little ankle bracelet things, and then they have like a QR code on them, and then they have like these websites
fucking
online
way.
that take all of their stats and track them by GPS.
That's
and do
amazing.
all this stuff. It's like crazy.
That's like sports stats, but for birds.
More
And
research.
you know what?
for
Here's how you
nerds.
race a pigeon, right?
You throw it really hard.
You go to the starting line, and then you let it go.
No, you hold it in your hands like this. You kiss it on the neck, and then you let it fly. Yeah, that's basically all captor. Captor boss basically is someone here in my country who has a lot of pigeons and plays with them and uses them as a sport. Like there are a lot in the like outer down parts of the city of these people, but like usually people don't look at them high enough.
And then you sit in a chair having a few drinks, and then someone's going to call you on the phone in a few hours and tell you that you won or lost. It's brilliant.
Oh, but the thought of that is really funny.
Yeah, and it's like once you win, you go,
Birds.
and you know what? Here's how you race a pigeon, right?
You throw it really hard.
You go to the starting line, and then you let it go, and then you sit in a chair having a few drinks, and then someone's going to call you on the phone in a few hours and tell you that you won or lost. It's brilliant.
Oh, but
Okay, because you never can see them. Maybe have a GPS on them. to like check where they are. But yeah, that's ridiculous. How can you be sure that the person's like telling the truth? What if it was like a gambling ring or something? What if you are... What if you're gonna go gamble with pigeons? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like once you win, then you can put this pigeon out to stud like a bull. This one's the fastest. Well, now it's worth like 100 grand. Come on,
God.
and you put it in a cage with like 200 female pigeons.
And you play romantic pigeon music.
Oh boy!
Yeah, exactly. And you know that this is just going to be the greatest moment of this pigeon's life. It's fucking hilarious.
My problem is pigeons suck, and I think something like a hawk.
Wanted to have. Oh,
Fucking hilarious.
My problem is pigeons suck, and I
look! Oh my god, the other one wanted to come. Oh, this motherfucker!
think
Yeah,
something like
fuck
a
off.
hawk or something seems way cooler to breed.
Hawks are
Hawks are pretty
dangerous,
cool.
though.
Well, hawks are the
Pretty
natural
dangerous.
enemy of the pigeon. You see.
Yeah.
So what
You
you're
can't have
saying is
them both
I should
together.
breed hawks and you should breed pigeons.
No.
We'll see who wins.
No!
No, keep yours away from my. It's not fair.
They're so
Ad time.
cute too. Of tanks.
World of Tanks sponsorship. Sandra, have you heard about this new free-to-play MMO with over 160 million players? The best thing about World of Tanks is not just that it's free, which it is that they're continuously pumping out new content. Like an old drain pipe in the Philippines, there's a constant flow of content into the greater ocean. Did you know you can enjoy
That's not a good idea.
World of Tanks on a console or on the mobile phone? All you have to do is
Why?
call up this number and you tell them where you want to move. Yeah, go 5 yards forward. Fire. Did I hit him?
That's a hit.
Now, Sandra,
so
this game is set
awesome.
in the
This is ridiculous.
post-apocalypse. All of the animals have gone extinct except for the tank. But then a world war breaks out between them.
Hey,
There's some
Mohammed,
Panzer.
I heard there's only one tank in the whole game.
That's not true, Sandra. In fact, there breaks out between them.
Hey, Mohammed.
Why is that lady's name is Muhammad? That is a man's name all over. There is never a woman named Muhammad. Like, seriously, what the fuck?
I heard there's only one tank in the whole game.
That's not true, Sandra. In fact, there are lots of different classes of tank. You can be a healing tank, you can be a stealth tank, you can even be a druid tank. This is
That was more like a burlock.
downtown London before any sort of conflict happened. Boy, this really reminds me of a war I can't mention, Sandra. So go to the link below and use the code COMBAT. We'll give you a Cromwell B premium tank. 250,000
How good is that tank, though?
7 days World of Tank premium account time, plus 3 rental premium tanks. By the way, they sent us some promo stuff, and some of these are like ads that have Arnold Schwarzenegger in them, and Mila Jokovic and Chuck Norris. I don't know why they sent me this, but it's really
What the fuck? Why? Holy shit. I never get like actors advertisement for video games. How can that work? Because of the popularity of the actor? Just that's a bad
look at
idea.
it.
Also, they collaborate with Girls
Alright, never
und
mind.
Panzer.
I stand corrected. That was, bro. Girls and Panzer was so fucking good.
Also, they collaborate with Girls und Panzer.
Oh, I actually like that one. And same
That's
with Valkyria
brilliant.
Chronicles. It's a good game. You know, Sandra, I heard they're adding a dating sim to World of Tanks. Oh, Cromwell Summer.
No, please let something be safe from the Veeps. We destroy everything, bro.
My barrel is all filled with ash and debris.
Jesus.
Take this pipe cleaner and go to town. Sandra, how come you're in that tank right now?
I don't know.
Oh, stop it. You're destroying the whole set.
Oh no.
So click on the link in the description below and use code COMBAT to get a whole
A visual, I'm pretty sure there are visual novels about tanks and jets and pigeons.
bunch of stuff. Look at this stuff.
I seen
Add
them
over.
and played them. What the fuck? Why would
I know
you fuck with
what
the
the
guillotine?
worst hobby is.
What?
Candle making.
Really?
Oh, what's the...
It's not. People who make candles for a hobby are artists and usually toward the emotional side, and it's absolutely okay. Let them do what they want to do. It's not a bad hobby.
fucking point? Go down to the store and buy a big candle for $1, or if you want a scented one, they're everywhere.
It's the same, bro. It's the same. It's the same thing with weed. It's the same thing with tomatoes, gardens, other things we make, other customizable MacGyver shit people make. It's a hobby.
Candle for $1, or if you want a scented one,
Crafting is a
they're
hobby.
everywhere. Like, I don't understand why people are making their own candles. There's one fun part about candle making, which is that you can dip your hand in the hot wax, and then you've got like a claw thing that you can start, peeling away.
It is surprising that isn't some kind of therapeutical thing, because that seems like somewhere
It's
like,
really
have you been
fun.
to the wax dipping?
Yes! They got those smoke pots and acupuncture
Yeah,
and shit. Why don't they have
acupuncture.
wax dipping?
That's the perfect massage thing, because it kind of hurts.
Already a massage thing. All right. So it is a
Like
thing.
a lot of those kind of treatments, acupuncture, massaging, there's like a pain element to them. But there's also like a satisfaction element to them where afterwards you feel like,
Hot rocks.
and then afterwards your skin would probably feel real like moisturized or something.
Yeah, because you would sweat.
Trains, on the other hand, I could see trains, because trains are like, that's a bit of a novelty. Like an old train's kind of cool to ride on.
There's this park in Melbourne, and it's got like this tiny train. And there's a little conductor dude that
That is the saddest picture I ever seen.
got like this tiny...
It's sad not because big dudes are on a fucking train. It's because they all hate it. Bro, it's so sunny and warm and hateful. To be honest, it might not be warm. Why is this dude wearing full cargo and everything? How hot is this place? I'm sweating just looking at this. Look at how many people on these small trains. What the fuck? Yeah, Australia, you guys need better trains, man.
train. And there's a little conductor dude that sits at the front.
So sad.
And he just gives rides like all day.
That's awesome.
I was enjoying the hell out of that. And I understood it all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're just suddenly all the
What the fuck is that? Why would people make such a thing? I guess if you're enjoying model trains, that is like a model train that is not real and you can ride it. That's a good idea.
cynicism that went into your early videos washes away. That's why you only upload twice a year now.
Yes, no, I'm just too obsessed with trains now. Oh, is that the DC-45? Running on time, I see.
Would you tie a woman to the tracks? Do you
Oh my
Do they ever
God!
do that? Is that a real thing someone did?
I would presume so. I would presume that's a pretty good way of taking someone out.
That has to be one of the most horrible way. Like, you're going to be mincemeat 100% chance. There's no...
Yeah. The thing is, if you're small enough, you can probably survive. You just have half of your skull crushed a bit and you don't have any knees anymore. But you might be able to
No way
survive.
you're getting
it.
out of that.
Throw that one
It's
up,
just
Jamie.
awful.
Does anyone ever get tied to the railroad tracks? When did they start using the guillotine? That was around the 1700s, wasn't it? And that's like the same time that the train was around. Why didn't they just use the train?
Well, a bit messier to clean up, I think. You can't just have a train running around covered in gore all the time.
Yeah, true.
You know what's crazy about the guillotine is the last, government-issued guillotining in France happened when the first Star Wars movie was in theaters.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the 1970s.
Hamida Dejandobi. Who's Dejandobi? Guillotine on September 10th, 1977. That's crazy. That how much of this... I mean, to be honest, is the capital punishment is still a thing in many countries, especially third world ones. And it's crazy to me that it was happening with the guillotine back in the day.
Something, isn't it?
In
Yeah, it's like
1977, like that's 13 years before I was born.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the 1970s or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like way later than you'd think.
Yeah. Do you reckon it hurts?
I actually think about that more often than I should, because they say that your brain activity still kicks around for a good, 30 seconds afterwards.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Do you reckon you're just like, fuck. Well, this sucks.
Yeah,
Well, you'd
for a
land in the
millisecond.
basket and then you'd be all nauseous, right? Because you'd be like, you'd spin and then land.
When you don't have a stomach to feel the nausea.
Nauseous, right? Because you'd be like, you'd spin and then land upside down. And you'd be like, my face is right up against this wicker. This is terrible.
Yeah, this just sucks.
Then you might be a bit bored for a little while, like just waiting to die.
I
I think you just die because all your senses are cut off from your body. You feel bliss and a tad bit of pain for a few milliseconds, and then you pass away.
Then you might be a bit bored for a little while, like just waiting to die.
I hate thinking about this. This is this is stressing me out like it's something I have to do later.
Okay, what would be the worst
No
part
one's
about
gonna
getting
behead ya.
guillotined? Because I suppose the blade is quick, at least. There would be a moment just before you put your head in it that you get really close to the guillotine and you kind of have this thought that's like, oh, this is really dangerous.
I should
Do
be
you know
doing
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you get too close to like a bandsaw or...
Yeah, you get
know,
like a
oh,
tickling
yeah.
hand.
Yeah. Oh, I've got it. Right. So what you do is underneath you want to have a bit of a lever, like a seesaw, and then you have the basket there. So
What the fuck?
the moment it cuts through, your head falls off, it launches your head straight into the air, and then it's kind of like, whoa, I get to see the whole crowd.
That'd be the worst. If it like only cut through halfway.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Or it gets stuck.
That might be a good idea though. If it got stuck in the earlier part before cutting your like spinal cord, you will still have a chance to just pick it up and try again. Or just
And
run.
then they
You have to
try
like
to
pull it up again.
but then that's pulling your neck as well.
And they just kind of like, they just stand above it and just kick the
Oh
back.
my god! No, kick the fucking blade, you idiots!
We're gonna need a couple fellas just to jump up and down on the blade, please. Oh, here's the problem. You tied a bloody knot in the rope. It's caught against it's like caught against the wooden beam.
That's awful.
This is very morbid.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about other ways to do the guillotine. Because you could have them at the very top.
You drop them onto the...
Yeah. Or you have an enormous spring.
That reminds me of that bullshit stuff that happened. Have you ever watched, there is a movie called Green Vague, Green Light or something, about this big black dude who's helping, who has miracle powers, and then they try to torture like death row inmates who are actually not awful people at the same time that like death row. It reminds me of that they just didn't vet that sponge one time, and that movie scarred me to this day.
Drop them onto the...
Yeah. Or you have an enormous spring underneath the blade, so everyone has to kind of pull, and then it goes off.
Yeah, right, yeah, like you're loading.
That's an awesome idea. Awesome.
This feels like if like as seen on TV, infomercials invented a guillotine. Like, aren't you sick and tired of that normal guillotine? And they
No,
invent this
mate.
weird double-sided guillotine that can like
It
cut.
slices, it dices, and only 3 payments of $39.95 plus postage.
That's
the old
weird.
person tries to drop the blade, but then they just kind of fall over, and then they're
Yeah, they try and pull on the rope, and then they just immediately go and turn to the camera, like holding their wrist. What about one that's like a fan, and it's like
oh yeah, so you just keep sliding people through it.
conveyor, and have them turned into little slices.
Oh yeah, that'd be
More like blood piles.
quite nice. Yeah, we're essentially describing a deli slicer, but yeah.
Electric chair, that sounds pretty bad, but I feel like it'd be pretty quick.
Okay, so how do we improve the electric chair?
And it shoots you at the same time and it poisons you while you're being dead. I want my face, my head to not feel any pain, and I want to have some poison in me in case I didn't die fast enough, and I want it to be wet as possible if it was...
I'm thinking what you do is instead
More
of one
fresh.
big shot, just thousands of little shots.
They just randomly occur all over your body.
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah,
That's
it's like
just-
you're constantly licking a 9-volt battery.
Yeah.
What if they just tape the battery to your tongue and then walk away? And go,
It does 1 damage at a time, but eventually... Well, that's just death by 1,000 cuts, but it's death by 1,000
awful.
small shocks.
oh, fuck.
I wonder if you did just cover someone in wet 9-volt batteries, like whether you would die from starvation or like electrical current.
You're not going to die of an electric current with 9 volts of battery who eventually die themselves. Like the batteries don't survive that much when they're in air, like connected to air. So you're not gonna die unless there is a repeater and some components that can like intensify the shock of it.
I think eventually, like, your muscles must just give out.
But it's like the muscles, it'll be your heart or brain that like gives
Yeah,
up.
yeah, your heart would give out. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. You'd just get overexerted.
Yeah, okay, hold on. What if electrical chair, but there's a phone
Dehydrated
to play
too.
Family Guy on it while you die?
What if like Oh shit! I just lost it.
Did the Family Guy phone flashbanged you?
Throwing flashbang.
That just wiped your brain like a Men in Black
That is
clicker.
weird. Like, okay, because there are two fucking weird things happening at the same time. That's why it's confusing him, and he forgot the train of thought.
Yeah.
Imagine a Men in Black if instead you didn't see anything and they held up Family Guy funny moments compilation.
That does not do anything.
One of those things that I got interested in for quite a while was
Disgusting.
oysters.
Oysters.
Yeah.
Oysters.
Yeah, I just thought they were really interesting.
You went on oysters.com?
102.
Won't be good though.
Oh, the fucking
I
domain.
went to
Never
this
mind.
oyster tour in Tasmania, and they were just telling about all these like really interesting things about oysters. So yeah, we used to have these piles and piles of shells. We would burn them and turn them into lime. Oh, really? Okay.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so anyway, most oysters are about 7 years old, and here's how they mate.
Let me get some of that
70!
oysters. Yeah. I think it's a clam, not an oyster, but there's a picture where like they put a bunch of salt in front of a clam and it's
Oh,
big,
yeah,
big
I
gross
saw
tongue
that.
like flops out and licks up all the salt.
Ugh.
And the thing that makes it weird is that that's fucking bro. That is not fast forwarded that much. It fast forwarded like 1.2. Like that is the crazy part.
Have you seen that?
It's so
No.
Let
creepy.
me find that. It is interesting.
Pull that
He's
one up,
weird.
Jamie.
Jamie,
Doing it.
Joe
Isn't that
Rogan
fucked up?
fucking reference.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
I just want to fucking slam my fist down on it when its tongue's out.
Do you reckon
No,
it pulls?
I want to put some like I don't know vinegar in there too, or some other components to see if it wants those as well. It's a good idea to have a crab that knows what it
Tongue
wants.
and goes, ooh, salty.
Yeah, well, that's because if it hated salt, but then like it also has to use its tongue as its like primary means of transportation, so it has to like put its
It's
tongue
so
in the
painful
salt
and difficult.
to get
bro.
away from the salt. It's kind of like it's like a saw trap almost.
Yes, why hasn't anyone done saw but for animals? Yes.
Yes.
You're always poking your tongue out at people. Well, now there's salt around.
What if there was a saw movie where he just did it to like innocuous animals and don't give a
Goddamn.
shit about like clams and like deep sea anglerfish?
You're always just swimming around in the dark. Now you're
light.
sellotape to a 100-watt light bulb. He's having like a mussel and clam
blind them.
stew, but he throws them all in a pot and then turns the water on to boil. And he goes, here I have set up a trap. You must escape before the water boils. But he always intended just to have a stew.
Yeah, exactly. He just watches as they boil because they're fucking like clams. They can't do anything.
Now comes
That's
the
so fucked up,
warm
actually.
butter.
Imagine torturing crabs while you're trying to. What the fuck?
If you don't escape in 10 seconds, you'll be enveloped in fresh cream which will permeate into your lungs and tongue, rendering you unable to move. What's an animal you would like to see in a saw trap?
Sometimes I see those birds that are like, they're usually water birds, and they've got these very long, slender legs. I just think,
Like
God, that
flamingos.
would be satisfying
that
just
is
to
not-
walk over and be like, snap that.
Yeah. I would say that I imagined doing that once, but at the same time I was like, that's because every time I want to do something to someone, I basically imagine my own knee bending backwards, and I don't even get close to that person or that animal.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't actually want to hurt it, but
Like a breadstick.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of, I'm not going to, but it's kind of like, you know, when your mate
a stick.
is showing off a brand new pencil.
Oh
yeah,
my
you just
god.
And he's like, I love this thing. I've sharpened it perfectly. And you just want to reach over and snap it.
Fuck
In my
you.
head, all this stuff is
That's such asshole
absolutely
move.
hilarious. In real life, one time there was this mouse that got caught in a mouse trap at our place, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish him, so I had to let him go free in the park.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do that.
Like seriously, how can you? Look at that mouse, though. Mouses are really cute, but when they die in a trap, they usually are dead. So if I see a mouse that survived in a trap, yeah, unless it's like their legs or their part of their body that they can't recover easily, you probably should put them in a box and give them some food and then release. Fuck, what the fuck am I talking? It's like mouse nursing
I
homes.
feel like my problem with Saw is, or just any horror movie really, which is another hobby a lot of people seem to love that I just don't understand. People never deserve it.
No.
Which I guess is kind of the point, but when it's like, oh, just some teacher who didn't like appreciate their family enough or something, it's like this person doesn't deserve their face come out.
Yeah, no. That's a sort of lesson that you would learn over the course of a lifetime to like appreciate your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that one's gonna work itself out.
You've just given them PTSD. You haven't solved anything.
What? Dungeons and
One time I dungeoned and dragoned.
Okay, interesting. When was this?
All right.
I was invited to do some D&D stuff back in my university days. I showed up on a Saturday. It was about 1 in the afternoon, and we were there
Everyone's
until
there.
about 7 o'clock, and we had to call it quits at 7 o'clock because the host's mum was coming home then. In that 6 hours, I think we managed to play for about an hour. And then the other 3 hours was spent setting up the game, and the
That
other
is
2
too true,
arguing
bro.
about the rules.
So you had the authentic experience,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
That is
I'm
Dungeons and
amazed
Dragons.
that anyone gets to do more than about 15 minutes of gaming per 4-hour session.
Bro, that's why I just stopped playing that. Bro, play as Battlestar Galactica. That is a really, really fun game that you can play with a bunch of people. It takes a long time sometimes, but it's so much better. The Dungeons and Dragons, like, classic. Like, you go to that every year, and so even if it's not like with all of your friends, if it's like online or something. But Battlestar Galactica is such a fucking good game. It's so good and stressful, and like the peak of it is so fucking amazing.
Gaming per 4-hour session. You got any D&D story? You ever kill a man?
I remember one time I went to a card store to buy some cards, and they were having like their weekly D&D night where like a whole bunch of different tables were all set up for people to play D&D.
Yeah.
And there's a guy sitting at one of them who had head to toe full Deadpool merch on.
Oh.
He had a Deadpool
Oh.
hat, he had a Deadpool jumper
That's
on.
cool.
The jeans, I believe, probably just regular jeans, but they were black to fit with the color scheme. And then he had red and black sneakers, which I don't know if they were Deadpool branded, but they were definitely, continuing the color scheme.
You know what? Maybe it was like a bad coincidence. Like, maybe these are all the things he doesn't usually wear.
Oh no.
This happened to me once, right? Somehow, when I was like 11, I think my
way.
mum had bought me a camouflage shirt and camouflage.
Your mom needs some skincare.
11. I think my mum had bought me
At
a
least sunscreen,
camouflage
please.
shirt and camouflage shorts.
Sun is the deadly
and,
enemy.
like, my dad, right, he kind of wanted me to be a bit of a snob for some reason when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So he used to take me to the driving range all the time. And I remember looking in my closet and going, oh, I don't have anything except this camouflage shirt and these camouflage shorts that I never wear. And so I just had to wear both of those.
What the
and so
fuck?
I looked like I was going to the military at age 11. And I remember distinctly, like, we were waiting to go in.
No, man.
And there's these 2 absolute strangers who walk by in the other direction and they salute. And I just died. That's probably what happened to this dude.
Oh my god. No, I really doubt it. He wants to play Go Dungeons and Dragons, so he probably just put the Deadpool suit on. That's what he likes. What the fuck? Not everything needs to be accidental. Some people want to wear what the fuck they want to wear.
I think I would like to
Pennsylvania.
retire to a small town in Tasmania called Launceston.
Okay.
And one of the reasons
Tasmania.
is I was there and I was walking around downtown and, oh, neat. Looks like a Warhammer store. So I went in and I bought a book, which I never read. And then I went back out and then I walked 2 stores down and then...
Wait, Warhammer is... I mean, I know Warhammer 40k is big, but is it big enough to have its own separated store? But how many books or media has been created for Warhammer? Like good ones, not, under 5 scores.
back out, and then I walked 2 stores down,
Because that is
and then all of
crazy.
a sudden, another comic book store.
Okay.
It's like it basically sounds like a brand for itself, like Warhammer, Samsung, LG, like something like that. if it has a store dedicated to it.
It's like a Warhammer
Crazy.
store. So I went in and I bought a book, which I never read. And then I went back out
Yeah,
and then I
see.
walked 2 stores down. And then all of a sudden, another comic book store.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, that's brilliant. There's like 2 of these in a very small town. And then I walked
Game
around the corner of the block and there was like one of those
Oh God, I apologize. That was accidental.
war games stores right there. It was all within like 100-yard radius. It was brilliant.
I'd love to find like a real nerdy town that you just like, yeah, we're really nerdy, so what?
Oh, that's awesome. That would be fucking
We don't
amazing.
reproduce.
We just make a commune, like a real nerdy town that you just like, yeah, we're really nerdy, so what?
Yeah, we don't reproduce.
We just make a commune in the
So what?
highlands of Tasmania
No
and we're
girls
just
allowed.
shipping Warhammer and D&D.
Absolutely. And then we set up like a cross between an internet cafe and a deli. But we only let our friends in and then everybody gets free deli.
First of all, having apples for your game net or coffee net is just an awful idea. It's just dumb. No, don't do that. Use PC so you can turn it into a game net as well.
Right? And then eventually one of us becomes the mayor. I actually Googled once the current
Mayor of
mayor of
London.
Launceston and I thought, you know what? I could at least take this of Launceston. And I thought,
Mayor Danny Gibson. Holy shit, wait, what? His name is literally Danny.
you know
okay.
what? I could at least take this guy in a fight.
Yeah, which
Easy.
is how they settle the mayorship
Maybe
in
he's
Tasmania.
buff.
Yeah, that's right. You
Yes.
stand in the middle of the triangle that intersects the 3 war game stores.
Yeah, and you have the ultimate war game.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's fucking
I've
awesome!
never fucking understood Yu-Gi-Oh!
Duel.
Because half my friends play it, but like you look at one of those cards and it is just a novel,
Bro, that's a fucking good...
man. It is like,
I have
Holy
only ever seen the
shit.
show, and that thing does not seem to have any rules at all.
yeah, those motherfuckers just making shit up on the fly.
You can't use 2 beast cards on one deck without sacrificing at least a spirit card. And you, what? Who? When did that happen? And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Immediately does it anyway without sacrificing the spirit card. And then he looks like he's, oh no, Yugi, you've lost all your life points. But then he's like, hold on a minute, I've got the heart of the cards. What does that mean? And then all of a sudden his poor life points
He
come
just
back.
pulls out a gun.
Wait, what?
Did you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I did. I was obsessed with it as a kid. But you're right. It has such little bearing on the actual
I
game.
played...
I
I
like,
never watched anything Yu-Gi-Oh! I only played the games. There were a bunch of games. They came out on CDs. I always played them. They were so fucking fun. I just hate the trap cards. The ones that there is a fucking dude in a hole trying to catch you fucking in. I fucking hate those. I never have those. And an enemy has a bunch of them.
Did you ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I did. I was obsessed with it as a kid. But you're right. It has such little bearing on the actual game. I like to imagine the card designers just saw every episode come out and they're just like, fuck. How are we going to keep up with it? Because obviously kids are going to buy the decks being like, I want to do Yuki's cool move.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, please.
I remember as a kid looking up the cards and the descriptions are completely different to the show and being really disappointed. And the descriptions
Actually, Superman not even rare. Oh.
are completely different to the show and being really disappointed. I also think some kid stole my cards. I'm not sure.
I know who it was. It was that goddamn Kaiba.
That goddamn Kaiba came to rural New Zealand and stole my deck that was probably worth $20 maximum.
He held your grandfather to
God.
ransom, and he wanted your Dark Wizard card. I think Yugi.
I loved that so much. That is like the grandpa. It's so brilliant. The fucking hair, bro. What the fuck?
To ransom, and he wanted your Dark Wizard card. I think Yugi has the. I don't know if his name is Yu-Gi-Oh or Yugi.
His name's
Yugi.
Yugi, and then when he turns into the version of him that's trapped in the Millennium Puzzle, he's Yummy Yugi.
I forgot about that. The Millennium Puzzle.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Millennium Eye, Yug.
And that's right, there he can like see under Yugi's clothes with it or something.
And his facial expression would just change when he goes between the two. He had the most bizarre hair of any
Yeah.
anime character I've ever seen. It was like, what is even happening?
Yeah,
With that, it's like
yeah.
3 different colors, and it's almost a pyramid.
At least like most anime characters here, it's like stupid, but you're like, okay, theoretically with enough hair gel, you could make that
Yeah.
happen, like Cloud's hair or something.
Yeah.
Like there's just a blonde guy with
They just it breaks like in the immersion. Like if the dude has decent hair, like a human has, it makes it more realistic and more relatable. But when the fucking dude with like hair that is just like a rock star's hair from like 80s comes out, I'm like, oh my god, I can't take this seriously, even if he's crying over a dead person and he's a friend. Yeah, I don't really. I have problems with new modern Final Fantasy models.
Spiky, like shaped here, and then Joey's just from Brooklyn for some reason.
Scott,
That's, like, set in Japan.
you, grass, yeah. Wasn't this in a video?
Yeah, I also did a video on this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which you can click on the top right.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't click on that.
Come on. Game over. Oh!
All right, listen up, mini cooters. I've got your granddad. I'm gonna expose him to my gamma radiation card.
I'm gonna play a mountain
awesome.
and tap it and cast lightning bolt on your.
Are you turning Egyptian right now?
You've already done this joke before. Don't make me do blackface.
You're just in denial, mini cooters.
Man, you need to start finding someone else to do these.
All right, thanks for being on. I'll catch you.
Oh, fuck! That Mindset, that's so good, the game. That's a really good game. Man, that's hardcore. That's a hard, difficult game. I already has problems with it, but at some point I figured that the numbers are the amount of mines that are close to the free space, basically. But yeah, amount of mines, the amount of mines that are touching it. But yeah, that's it for now. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. For now, have a nice day. Goodbye, everyone. Hobbies was decent. Like, I really enjoyed it. The fact that it was long enough to cover decent amount of categories, it was amazing.